It's an experiment day. That's what I've decided. It's experiment day. We're out here at the Cashlaputer River in Colorado, not too far from Fort Collins. I wish I can convey to you what it smells like here. If you've ever been in a pine forest and the pine trees are all warm, it smells so good. Then you have the sound of the river and perfect t-shirt weather, not too cold, not too hot. Oh, it's nice out. And Steve is just having a blast learning how to use the filters. Hopefully you've seen that video. I think it's over here. Maybe it's over here. Hopefully you've seen that video. And while he's having fun with filters, I'm going to sneak off just to a little tiny spot over here. I'm going to take the Sony A1 and the 70 to 200 millimeter lens on. And I'm going to take the 17 to 28 Tamron, because I've been inspired by a recent podcast by Wild and Exposed. They were talking about intimate landscapes and small scenes. And now that I'm kind of looking for them, I'm really seeing them. So I really want to go explore that, give him some time and space to have fun without me putting this microphone in his face. It's a little windy, so I figured if I handheld it, it would sound a little better. So I'm going to give him some space, and I'm just going to go just a few feet down the river here and see what I can find for little intimate landscapes. We are right next to the road. I think this is Highway 14. So we're next to the road. There's just like this little tiny park here. Very few people here. We kind of lucked out, honestly. So let's head down the river a little bit and see what we can do with some kind of intimate scenes. That sounds fun. Let's try it. Come on. Okay, let me grab my camera. Ugh. So I'm just down here by the edge, and what I'm looking for is patterns. I'm looking for the way the light plays on things. Tiny, tiny little scenes. Oh my gosh, this rock in front of me has all this pink and orange on it. I just walked all over this rock and it's got green and orange lichen. Oh, it's so pretty. Quartz, I believe. So just tiny, tiny little things like that. A sparkle, something that's bright in the middle of something dark. And there's even a tiny bit of sand down here and a little bit of pattern in the sand. So I definitely don't want to step in there. Of course, the trees have a really beautiful bark if I could catch the light on it just right. There's so much to see in this little tiny, like 10-foot square area. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. Okay, let's just try some things. I rarely give myself the chance to be completely wrapped up in the moment, but I found myself setting up the video camera here and just pressing record and ignoring it, walking away and sitting on the edge of this river. There was a nice calm pool of water within a few feet of me. I had some rocks and roots to sit on, and I really gave myself a chance to observe what was right there at my feet. And I found a whole other world. When I looked into the water, I saw the water itself moving. I saw it flowing over rocks, around foliage,
But I also saw underneath the water and the play of the light and how the water changed the look of anything underneath, tree roots and rocks and sand. And every time the water moved, little bits of it would move and the scene would change all over again. Just looking at the water alone, I could have spent so much time at. When I looked outside the water, I saw all the different types of rocks and the tiny, tiny patterns and textures and colors and the light sparkling and glinting off the rocks. Some rocks were dry, some were wet, some were huge, some were small. Whole worlds and whole histories could be seen in these rocks. Absolutely fascinating.
Okay, so far I'm having a lot of fun. I still just have the 70 to 200 on. I haven't switched to the wide angle. It's breezy and I'm just hand holding and I don't have any filters or anything. So I'm just seeing what I can do handheld. So there's like some pretty leaves that are moving, but the leaves are moving so much. I wanted to get the water. I don't know, that didn't work out. I got some of the glowing tree behind me. The trunk just looks really pretty. All the little patterns in the rocks, there are so many. There's so many. You know, my settings are all over the place. I'm just experimenting, just having fun, seeing what I can find in this little area. What I'm loving is underexposing. So some of the patterns really stand out when I underexpose. So that's fun to learn too. Oh, there's flowers on this bush. Look at that. All right, let's, and I'm trying really hard not to step in the sand in case I see pictures in the sand. All right, let's keep looking.
This time by the water reminded me of the idea of a doing nothing hour. I was at a meeting recently and we were chatting beforehand and someone said their goal has been to do an hour of absolute nothing every day. Nothing. Oh my goodness. For me, I'm a massive multitasker, and to do nothing means to do one thing. Perhaps it's I'm just reading a book or I'm just cooking a meal or you know what I mean? So an hour of doing absolutely nothing, including photography, ooh, that is a stretch for me. So doing this exercise really reminded me of that. I was just doing one thing and I let myself forget that the video camera was even running. Looking back though, I wish I'd set everything down and turned off the cameras and sat at the edge of the river and did nothing for a whole hour. It's so hard to do nothing though.
I love this exercise. Although I may not have some awesome images in the end, I've learned so much and I've learned to see things differently. You know, what does the water look like? Even if it's not a good shot, what does it look like if I do a long exposure? Oh, that's what the water does. What is it? What if I underexpose? What if I just look at this one tiny spot of the sand? Just there's worlds within worlds within worlds. It's so cool. Everything. There's just little splashes of color everywhere, little movements, little shapes. Yeah, oh my gosh, I could probably spend another hour just sitting right here. I'm looking at some tree branches, bark, oh no, all this huge rocks here with all the different colors and shapes and patterns. Yeah, I could go on and on. But Steve and I are going to head off a little further down the river and do some other things. And so I hope you've enjoyed this video today. And maybe this is something you can do even in your own backyard or your city neighborhood. And really any time of year. This would be fun to do in the fall or the winter as well. So for any of you that watched the video about did I fix my 70 to 200, yes, it's still working. I've taken several hundred, if not 1,000 pictures since then. So that fix is still working and I'll link to that video as well. And I hope you also enjoyed the video of Steve right in this spot also with playing with the filters. Yay! So we're going to see what else we can photograph today. This is an absolutely gorgeous day in the Colorado mountains. along the Poudre River here. Just, oh my gosh, it's just what I needed. You can smell it, you can feel it, you could hear it. Wow. Ah! All right, gotta go. Enjoy the photos.
I never did change my lens to my wide angle lens. I feel like there was a wealth of images I could have taken with that lens, but just kind of chilling out and using the one that was in my hand just seemed to work. So I used the 70 to 200 millimeter lens the whole time, and I would just scooch backward and forward to get the right perspective. This trip down the river canyon seemed to be just the cleansing I needed. Sweep out all of the cobwebs of wintertime, all the chill, let that water just wash everything away and clear the way for fresh new possibilities. And you never know what's going to be just right there at your feet. I loved this exercise and definitely will be trying it again.